What's up, everybody? Today is a very special day. I'm going to introduce you to someone who you're going to be seeing a lot of, because I'm going to be seeing a lot of. My man Vince Desai. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Okay, so Vince is a chiropractor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you tell them exactly what you do.
So I'm a chiropractor, work a lot, not only with joints, but soft tissue. Also do a lot of internal health, so lab testing, but really focus on the entire person, how they move, making sure they move appropriately, and we're doing whatever tools we got to do to make them move right so that they can progress and be stronger. That's really the key.
My reason of coming was, I'm one of those people that, like, when I was younger, I didn't warm up.
Yeah.
I felt like a savage at all times. But as father time catches up, a lot of aches and pains, some mobility issues and stuff like that. A lot of stuff I've kind of, felt the walls and try to figure out how to rehab myself. But there's certain things, I constantly, it's not a consistent pain in my shoulders, but it pops its ugly head up here and there.
Right.
My knees click sometimes when I'm squatting or running upstairs, and it's a few little issues that I have here and there, and I want to start really working on full mobility, because I know I don't have it.
Right.
There's certain stretches it's so hard for me to do.
Okay.
And that's why I'm here to see you. You're the expert.
Yeah.
I want you to get me right.
Okay, so we'll take you to we're just gonna basically watch how you move a little bit. We're gonna see what movement patterns are dysfunctional, and then we got to figure out is it joint, is it soft tissue related, or is it your brain just doesn't know how to do those motions? Right. And then we're just gonna piece it out, and we'll go from there and figure it out.
Okay, let me talk about this real quick, because I had a certain negative stigma in my head about chiropractors, because I would see the cracking.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no way I'm getting that done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but when we first met, you explained more of what you do to me, and it made a lot of sense. Can you break it down for my people so they can kind of understand?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that have misconception. I think the best way to look at it, honestly, is that my job is to make you move efficiently, right? And there's lots of ways to do that. So when people think about the adjustments, the cracking, as you call it, it's really the best way to think about it is we're taking a joint that doesn't move and we're making it move appropriately. So it's got different ranges of motions it can go through, and if we notice one is not moving that way, we've got to make it move. Because if you lose motion in one spot, it's got to move from somewhere, so you're going to start compensating. But I also do a lot of soft tissue, a lot of rehab-based stuff. So sometimes it's actually the soft tissue that's restricting things. So you got to open up the soft tissue, and as soon as you do that, the joint now has the ability to move. So it's not just about joints, it's about how the soft tissue moves, how the nerves are working, and how the brain is making your body move. So it's a little bit of everything. The adjustments are just a little piece of it.
So basically the key is movement, just movement.
Completely.
Okay.
And there's a lot of things that restrict movement it can be internal health, it can be inflammation restricting it, the joints restricted, it can be the soft tissue. There's lots of reasons. So my job is to figure out what are all the pieces, and then how do we attack it.
All right, so I want you to do your assessment on me. I'm gonna let you do your thing, but I got so many questions.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save it for some later episodes though.
Okay.
But all right, what do you want me to do?
So we're gonna look at, you see we're mentioning knees and shoulders, so we're gonna, I'm gonna have you take your shoes and socks off for me. And then we'll probably take shirt off too. I'm just gonna do some general movement stuff first. Just watch your body move. You just gotta let me know if there's pain in any of these movements. So I'm just gonna keep moving. And you're gonna, shirt off, yeah, because we're gonna have to look at shoulder. All right, so first, Mike, what we're gonna do, I'm gonna have you actually stand. We're gonna come over here. You're gonna face me. Just put your feet together. I'm just gonna kind of look at how things are going. All right. Let's put your feet all the way together so they're touching. So I'm gonna move through all this stuff, and I'm just gonna watch what you're doing. If you get any pain, any restrictions, you just tell me. All right. Okay. All right, so start right there. Keep your legs straight. I want you to bend down and touch your toes. So come back up, and let's try and keep knees locked and do it again. Give it your best. All right, come on back up. Let's put your hands straight up in the air. Yep. I want you to lean backwards.
How far? As far as
Yeah, don't fall, obviously. If it hurts you, let me know. All right, come on back. Hands at your sides for me. Keep your feet on the ground, turn all the way to the right, as far as you can go. Your whole body. Yeah, so keep your feet there and just turn. Yeah. Pretty good. Let's go left. Good, no pain with that, right? Okay, I'm gonna watch you squat now. So put your feet wherever you want. You can turn them out, whatever's comfortable for you. Feet can do whatever. Let's just watch you turn. Go ahead and squat. Good, come back up. Let's do one more. Good, all right. Now I'm gonna have you stand on one leg. So just bring one knee up to about 90 degrees and just stand. I'm just gonna watch what your body does. And let's switch. Good, all right, go ahead and stay right there. All right, now we're gonna watch, so I'm gonna have you turn and face that wall. So what I'm gonna have you do is we're gonna look at your shoulder function. So palms are gonna face the wall. You're gonna basically go all the way up and down. I'm gonna watch just your blade. So keep them palms facing the wall, and all you're gonna do is go like this, up and down. And I'm gonna watch how your blades move. Okay, good. All right, let's have you come sit here for me, Mike, and you're gonna face this direction. Which shoulder? Both shoulders bother you?
Yeah, different times.
Okay. Anywhere in particular, or does it kind of move, the pain?
Yeah, inside somewhere, I don't know.
Okay, all right, let's just sit here. So just trying.
I can show you one thing.
Yeah,
if
let's do
you
it.
feel right here,
Yeah.
you can feel scar tissue.
Yeah.
Because I had a slight tear in my pec about 3-4 years ago.
Okay.
I just tried a weight that I never tried before, kind of cold, and popped.
Felt it go?
Yeah.
Okay.
And about 3 months ago, I almost popped it again. But I stopped before it popped, but I felt it about to pop because I knew it felt like falling. So I think that I get some issues because of that.
Did you do anything after that happened, treatment-wise or anything?
I just stopped doing it.
Okay,
for a while.
just let the pain go away? Okay. All right, so tell me if any of this, I don't want to, if any of this bothers you. Let's just bring this up. Good, all right, relax that on my leg, yep. Good, all right, let's do this other one, let's see.
And sometimes,
Yeah,
like, I feel a little tenderness in there, and I think it's because I laid on it last night.
when I go this way?
Nah, not really. It's just there lingering a little bit.
Okay.
Barely. Like sometimes I'll wake up in the middle of the night laying on my shoulder.
Yep.
And it hurts so bad. But then it kind of goes away once I get up.
And that's deep in the
inside,
shoulder?
in the
Yeah.
spirit of my shoulder.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think y'all got the spirit on the chart.
No pain into your arms, right? You get none of that? No numbness or tingling, any of that? Okay, let's go on your back for me if you can. So we're gonna look at some hips just because the knees, hips are always a big part of what's going on with the knees. Good, no pain with that? All right, so let's do this. Hold this leg there for me.
Hold it up.
Yep. I'm gonna try and bring this one down to here. Just resist me.
Or resist you?
Yep. Perfect, relax. Let's do the same here. Just hold it there. Resist. There you go. All right, relax. Let's come up here. We're gonna turn it in here. Okay, hold it there. I'm gonna push down and out. Just resist. Good. Same thing here. Hold there. I'm gonna push down and out. Okay, resist. Pretty good. All right, so one thing we'll work on is like this internal rotation, right, of your hip. It's a little bit limited there. Right, so when you lose rotation in the hip, the ability for the hip to stabilize as best as it can will go down, will diminish, puts more pressure on the knee. So a lot of times we'll open up the hip. Another thing we saw with you is when you're leaning backwards, that hip extension is a little restricted, which means there's tightness in the front. That's also gonna affect the low back in some respects, right? So if you open that up, you're gonna start to get changes in how. So what we wanna do, so this motion here, we wanna get that to be a little bit, your leg here should be a little bit more where my arm is, right? So we're gonna try and open that up a little bit too. The shoulders, we're probably gonna go in and open up some of this front tissue. Anytime you have scar tissue, like you're telling me in here, that's gonna pull on the joint structure. So when you try and move that arm, there's gonna be more tension pulling that ball and socket where it doesn't wanna go. So a lot of that is breaking up the tissue, right? As opposed to getting in there and mobilizing the joint only, we want the tissue to get opened up.
Is there anything I can do about the scar tissue?
Yeah, you work on it, right? You get in there with some
aggression. Go away.
Yeah, you're gonna get it to. So here's the deal: you want to get the tissue to become more elastic. Scar tissue becomes haphazard, and there's no elasticity in it.
It feels like, for y'all who don't know what I'm talking about, it literally feels like a tendon or some kind.
Yeah, it's like a rope.
It's not like hard as a bone, but almost.
Yeah.
And it feels like it can break. It feels kind of volatile. It's really tough, but it feels like when I'm lifting heavy weight, especially on the bench press, I'm very cautious, coming out really slow. I'm trying to make sure I feel it. I'm wasting energy trying to make sure I'm not gonna hurt this.
Yeah, because you're stabilizing aggressively, right? Yeah. So and you feel that pretty consistently?
Yeah, anytime I bench press.
Okay, so what we'll do, right?
A certain weight.
So it's not just about this piece. Mm-hmm. If I can loosen up the stuff here, here, and here, mm-hmm. all the stuff that feeds into it's now going to have more range, mm-hmm. and so it's not going to pull on that as aggressively. Okay. Does that make sense? So we're going to get in there, we're going to open up the whole chain of tissue.
Right.
And if you open up the whole chain, motion improves. Okay. Right?
And will growth be better?
How about this? When the muscle's elastic, mm-hmm. right? When you get the tissue to be healthy, it can fire better.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. If you put a knot in a muscle, the ability for it to fire is just diminished. Okay. Yeah. So if you can open up motion and make tissue healthy, the ability to access that muscle now goes up. Okay. Which in turn should turn to growth.
So me feeling like I've lost strength is probably this.
That's part of it. Okay. So remember this too, Mike. Like, so you remember your shoulder is a ball and socket joint. Mm-hmm. It's very unstable by nature. Mm-hmm. The only thing that stabilizes it all the muscles surrounding. So if you get one muscle, let's say the pec, right, and the pec's pulling on it this way too much, mm-hmm. it can't quite move where it wants to. Right. As soon as you can open that up, you now have this motion. And what that does indirectly is it creates more power, because your body is designed, if it's in a correct postural position, mm-hmm. the ability to create power goes up because it's stable. Right. The minute you take that instability out, mm-hmm. the power generation goes down. Okay. And you're working really hard to keep that shoulder there, right? So we're going to get in there and work on this shoulder a little bit, okay? Right. So we're going to go through I'm going to move your arm a lot while I work on it with some tissue work. Okay. And you just tell me if anything gets too much, too aggressive. Okay. We're going to do the same in your hips. We're going to watch and see how much better it can move. Does that sound good? All right. So this was what, 3 or 4 years ago, you said?
Yeah, something like that.
All right. So we're gonna do
probably 2014.
Okay. Yeah. Do you feel that restriction at all when you just move your hand down, or do you have to be loaded?
Yeah, I don't feel it.
It's got to be loaded. Okay. All right, so we're gonna work on this top piece first. You're just gonna drop your elbow, let your elbow fall. Start opening up.
What is this technique called?
So I've studied a bunch of different techniques. There's the one I've studied a lot in the past called active release technique, ART. I studied that for years and years and years, but there's lots of different techniques. Try to just do a mishmash, whatever works. So part of it is the soft tissue, and part of it, if we have a pretty big dysfunction in how things move, once the tissue opens up, we have to retrain the motion of the joint, make the shoulder work more effectively.
So for y'all watching, it kind of hurts, but it not hurt. It feels like it's something that needs to be done.
It's a good hurt. All right, we're gonna do a little bit in the back of the shoulder, so I'm gonna have you sit. All right, so we're gonna go work on your capsule here. So I'm gonna have you start with your arm here. You're gonna move it down to this position, and then you're gonna crank it over. Okay. It's just, I'll tell you when. So go ahead, just turn it, bring it across. Good. for it.
Your assessment so far, do I feel messed up?
I think you have a little bit of tightness in this posterior capsule of your shoulder. It's restricting some of your motion. You move pretty well considering how much muscle you have on you, so a lot of times that restricts motion, but you move actually pretty good. I think your hip range of motion can be improved, and I think that'll open up your ability to move into some of these full dynamic positions better. It's also going to take pressure off your back, 100%. The best way to take pressure off your back is get your hips moving as efficiently as possible. Good, so just relax for me. Good, right, so now the arm's rotating back more. Any pain with that? So see, we can open up that motion. You can drop down into more positions better and take pressure off that chest. So let's do some hip stuff real quick too. So maybe lie on your right side. All right, so you're gonna move this leg for me. We're just gonna do a couple things. Start here, and you're gonna bend your knee up to that arm. You're gonna go back and forth. Yep.
And come down?
Yep. There you go, and just go back and forth, yep. And you get back pain? Lower back pain?
It was a time when I was getting them when I trained.
Yeah.
Or when I ran, any kind of pressure, impact on my back, it would get really tight. And it didn't feel like an injury, it felt like the muscle was just too tight.
Okay.
And it would be so painful.
Compressed, it was just really compressed.
But I haven't felt it in a couple months. So.
Okay. Good, so now what you're gonna do is start same position, bend it to about here, and I want you to turn.
Okay.
Yeah. Go for it. Good. Same thing, just keep your knee near the table when you turn. There, and then turn, yeah. And then come all the way back so your leg's straight to start. Yep. Good. Is that all right? Couple more. Good. Let's go back on your back for me, Mike. Let's just see.
It's tiring.
It's kind of like a little
I
workout.
feel like it makes this
Yeah. So see where the leg is now? See how much more it's moving?
I'm healed.
You're not healed, but it's a lot better, right? So comparatively to just, I mean, that was a couple minutes.
Right.
You're gonna open up both of these hips. To where, see, this is where it was prior. So let's do this one real quick too. So same two things. Let's just bring knee to elbow. And what are you doing today in the gym?
I was gonna do shoulders, but I think I'm gonna do bench press now.
Okay.
Well, I did legs this morning.
Okay. Yeah, give it a go. So what I would want you to tell me is, do you feel there's less tension in that area? Do you feel like it's more stable? Do you feel like you can move a little bit easier? And if you can, you'll be able to. I mean, if we put some work into this, you'll get some motion in that.
Okay.
Definitely. So same as the other leg, start straight, bend it here, keep the knee down, and then turn. Okay.
Would you say that the strength training is what's causing a lot of this immobility?
It's hard to say. I mean, it can. So when you bulk up, there's obviously a lot more tension around joints. Doesn't mean you necessarily have to lose mobility. You actually move pretty well, considering. Hips can get tight from. So go back on your back. If you're not putting enough, I think like you said before, you're working out really hard, training hard, but you're not putting enough time in on the mobility piece. They just don't have enough opportunity to stay open. So it's really just about finding the key things for you, and I'll give them to you, is like, what are the key things for the areas that you're dysfunctional in? How do I give you stuff that's doesn't take a lot of time, but it's gonna open up the stuff you need to? And of course, you know, the work will help a ton, right? So it just starts to open up. So we got, right, so that's a couple minutes. So if we can open that up, give you the stuff to maintain it on your own, your hips move better, takes pressure off pelvis, takes pressure off back and the knees completely. So that's the kind of stuff we'd go through, and you know, we're gonna open up for you. All it's gonna do is make you move better. Right. And if you move better, you can create more power, right? Makes sense.
Right. So it's something that I swear by, I live by. I used to have an ache in my knees, and we came out with a product called Golden. It's turmeric, but it's literally super turmeric. I mean, the science is there with the hydrocurc and everything, and that's the most consistent thing that I take, and that pain is gone.
Yeah.
Right? So it showed me it wasn't an injury, it was like inflammation. Because my doctor told me I didn't have any structural damage in my knees.
Yeah.
So he said it has to be inflammation.
Yeah, it's common.
So I think of my diet, and also got super consistent taking Golden, and
takes care of it.
Yeah. That pain was so bad, I used to feel like I needed a surgery.
Yeah.
And I'm so against it.
Don't cut unless you have to, right? So the way I tell my clients is you got to think about inflammation. Think about you have a bucket of inflammation, and your body can tolerate whatever in that bucket. The minute it starts overflowing, you start getting pains, right? You can get joint pain. It can present as all sorts of stuff, brain fog, fatigue. So anything we can use to keep that inflammation down, which is turmeric, and turmeric's amazing at it, but you got to have a good one, right? Because there's so many bad ones out there.
Yeah. I'm not like just saying that because our product.
Yeah.
It literally is.
Well, it's your body's ability to use it, right? It's got to be clean, it's got to be sourced right, and it's how is your body going to use it. So the good stuff you actually use, and it does a lot.
For those who don't know what I'm talking about, and what the doctor is saying, it's about bioavailability.
Yep.
Just because you're taking a certain nutrient or ingredient or whatever doesn't mean your body's able to absorb it.
100%.
So with ours, with Golden, we have, it's a technology, it's called hydrocurc, and the science is there. I'll put the link down in my bio, but it's about 9 times more powerful than your best turmeric on the market, straight up. So we cut no corners with this with any product that we do. So it's something, just because you see something that says turmeric, you're probably wasting your money because you're putting something in your body that your body's not absorbing. So with ours, the absorption is phenomenal, because it's a huge difference in my not having pain, you know what I mean? Amongst other things that it does as well, it does more than just that.
Right. Well, we're talking about mobility, right? That we didn't even talk about internal health, right? So internal health can restrict mobility too, right? So if you have inflammation pocketing somewhere, your ability to move goes down just because there's pressure in there. So keeping inflammation at a low level allows the entire body to move better. It also allows you to recover better. That's a whole nother topic, but with inflammation low, you recover better, which means you can train harder, right? If you can't recover, you can't train harder, right? So that's a big piece of it too. Yeah.
All right, so I'm kind of healed, you know? So appreciate it.
Yeah.
I got to get on with my day, but we will be back.
For sure.
And y'all gonna see a lot more of this, man. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
All right.